Hi guys. So in last session we understood what are the implicit objects we are having. This time we have to understand what is JavaBeans, how we can use JavaBeans in JSP page, how we can set property, how we can get property of JavaBeans in JSP page. Okay. So JavaBeans are plain Java classes. Okay, but with a special features like if you're making a JavaBeans, your class must be public. Okay, all properties if you are making the properties should be private property, and then third, whatever the properties we are having, for that properties we should have a getter and setter methods which will help you to access the value of that property, which will help you to set the value with the property. Okay, and that's why we call it accession method and mutator methods. So setter method is called also mutator. Accessor is also like getter method is also called accession method. Okay. So it should not confuse here. Both are same. So anyone can mutate means change the value by calling the setter method. Anyone can access the value by calling the getter method. Okay. It must implement serializable interface. So these are the primary stuff which we have for making a JavaBeans. Okay. Now JSP allows separation of the roles of web designer and programmers involved in developing web application using JavaBeans, right? So if anyone is very good in designing, they can concentrate by writing just JSP tag. That guy need not to worry how I will interact my database, how I should write the data Java code so that that code will interact with the database, how I should write JDBC code. So designer need not to worry. What will happen? The developer will make this Java bean, make this component, and they can say you can use it. Okay. So Java bean is reusable and self-contained software component. It's a component that take advantage of all the security and platform independent features of Java, right? So the programmer can create a Java bean to access the like any data and all database and develop data processing code in the bean. We can write all the logic in the JavaBeans itself, while the designers can design the user interface in the JSP pages, and they can just use this bin, I mean Java bin, right? How designers can use this Java bin? So we'll understand that Java bin uses here. Using Java beans. So to use Java beans in your JSP pages, you need to include the Java bin references in the JSP pages, set the Java bean property, get the Java bean property. Okay. So we are having this stuff. First of all, include the reference. I mean, include the object of that Java bean. Then if you want to set some values, and later you can retrieve. If you want to just retrieve the values itself directly, that also it is possible, right? If it is holding value from somewhere, we can get it only. So here what we'll use Java in use reference. So there's one tag JSP colon use bin to include a bean reference in your JSP pages. The JSP use bin action tag creates an instance of the Java bin and stores the bean references in a variable. Okay. So the variable can then be used to access the Java bin throughout the JSP pages, right? See the codes that we can write here. JSP use bin code in the JSP pages. So we have to write what here? JSP use bin. This is the tag here. And then we can write ID. We can give some ID object name. And then we can give a class name. And we are having a scope. That object available, like what is the object availability here? How long it will be available? So we are having different kind of scope here. So you can see this statement here now. we are having generally four scope. One is the page. If someone using scope equal to page, it means, look at here. If I say scope equal to page, so it is why that the JavaBeans object is available only for that current page. Understood? Okay. This is just a class name. It's a fully qualified class name. This is the class name, this is the package name, right? And this is the object for this class. Okay. If I write this line in JSP page, when this line is getting translated to the sublet, what will happen? It will just create the object of this guy, option bin equal to option bin equal to new option bin, and then this object will set to the page context. So anyone can access this object, or means that page only can access it, right? Okay. Next is page we have seen here. Let us say request here now. If I say request, so as why that the JavaBeans object is available for current request, for that particular request only. Okay. So option bin scope equal to request. When this page is getting translated, let us say this is the class and here I have object X. So when this line is getting translated, what will happen? The sublet will create object like this, option bin X equal to new option bin. Okay. I just instead of this I'm writing X here. So this is the X object. Now what will happen? There's one request object. So request dot set attribute. Okay. And here they will just say here X comma X. Okay, this object has been set with the request only. That particular request only can access this X object. If anyone try, will not get. Similarly for the page context, similarly for the session, it add with the session, okay. And there's another we are having application that will add with the sublet context. So let us understand the next one, that is the session. Session is why that the JavaBeans object is available only for that current session. Okay, for that current session here. So look it now. So LL for current session. So here we are saying scope equal to session. What will happen? This object will add with the what? HTTP session object. And that's why if one session created for that particular request, it will be available for that particular session. For every session we can say different object, right? Now next is the application. If you want that object or that bean can be accessed throughout the application in an entire web application. Okay, so you can see this entire web application. So what you have to do? Scope equal to application, right? An ID, you can just give some ID and class name, fully qualified class name. So I hope you understood the scope of the JavaBeans. Now next we have to understand, that is setting bean property. Okay, so there is a JSP colon set property. This is the, I can say, action tag we are having, which help us to set some value with the uh, JavaBeans, right? So what is the code for this? Look it here. I can say here tag enable you to set properties for the JavaBeans to a specific values here. Now JSP colon set property. So JSP colon set property name, you can give the bean name, the ID which we have given in JSP use bean, and then property name and value, what value you want to set. So this value will set to that property. Let us say you are having one employee class. So you are creating a bean for that. I mean use bean, you are saying ID equal to X or E, and then employee class employee. So you can say here name equal to E here, because you have given ID E here. Property, let us say it is having employee ID, so just say employee ID here, some property name, right? And the value which you want to set, let us say 101. Okay, so name is why the name of the bin object, the value of this attribute should be the same as the value of the ID which we have used, right? Look it here. And the property, name of the JavaBeans property to be set here, and the value which you want to set, right? Now reading bin properties. Now just I want to get some value. If my bin is having some value, how we can get? We cannot refer directly because all are private members, right? So we have to use getter methods. Okay, if we are having object, we can call the getter methods. Instead of writing this getter methods, we can directly call the JSP colon get property. It will call the get property, getter methods, and display the message whatever it is having. So simply just you have to write here get property name bin ID and then property name, right? This name should match with the ID name which you have given, right? And property which you want to access. That's only. So get property action tag is used to read the value of JavaBeans property. Clear? So I hope you understood this whole JavaBeans concept. It is a kind of component in Java. If is someone call like component, bean, JavaBeans, all are same. Pozo class, all are same. Okay. So that's all about understanding JavaBeans.